Hey guys, it's Chelsea from The Financial Diet, and this week's video is brought to you by TurboTax. And today I want to talk to you about how we use our mornings. I am someone who, for most of her life, has been a pretty true night owl. It's ebbed and flowed over the years, and obviously things like school or the times I was a barista required me to get up a lot earlier than I would have liked, and I can make it work from time to time. But my nature has always been to do a lot of work at night, to go to sleep pretty late, and to wake up usually around 8 o'clock every day, and that's, still a bit of a struggle. But I do have a commute to the office now, which means that I like to get up a little bit earlier so I have time to not feel completely rushed and chaotic every morning and to still get in the office at a good time. And that has meant rethinking and challenging myself to be better about how I actually use my morning time, including that time when I'm still maybe in bed. It's very easy to pick up your phone and start mindlessly scrolling social media, but is it possible to actually do something productive or useful with that time? I say it is. And in fact, there are several really smart financial moves specifically that you can make from the comfort of your own bed, maybe on a lazy Saturday morning or with your before I get up for work time. And if you're someone like me who likes to ease into the day, this could be the perfect time to knock them out and start the day off on the right foot. So let's get right into it with the 6 smartest financial moves you can make from bed. Number 1 is to comb through your bank statements. Now, I'm gonna be honest here and say that I have let many a fraudulent purchase slip through and not noticed it until weeks or even months later because I was not being diligent about checking my statements. Although one time I did have my card skimmed at a shitty ATM, and trust me that I realized that my bank account was entirely drained right away. But catching fraudulent or weird charges is definitely not the only reason to very regularly look at your bank statements in some detail on a weekly or even daily basis. Because let's be honest, when it comes to using your money in a really bad or stupid way, there is no greater culprit than yourself. In fact, TFD's own editor, Holly, has a great strategy for going through your bank statements, highlighting the purchases you just don't remember making, and then adding those items to your list of things to never buy again. If you can't even remember it, it was in no way worth it. And there are really good ways to top-line analyze your statements without having to spend too much time on it. Somewhere at the top of your statement, there will probably be an area that provides an overview of the past month's activity. That includes the opening balance, closing balance, deposits, withdrawals, checks, and fees. A quick glance at this will give you a great idea of what you did during the past month and whether or not there are any issues you may need to look into. And you should always be on the lookout for things like recurring fees, double charges, or subscriptions you maybe no longer use. You can also check that your bills and automatic transfers are well funded so that you're not getting dinged for late payments or insufficient balances, or even possibly getting hits to your credit score that way. And you can really use this time to analyze every line, understanding a little bit better how you spend and why, and where you can be doing it better. And even just doing this once a week from the comfort of your pajamas with a mug of coffee can do you a world of good. Number 2 is handle your taxes. So I am someone who tends to build up little, objectively pretty manageable things in my mind for weeks or even months on end until they become these huge, scary, impossible to manage things that kind of disrupt me living a normal life. Basically, I self-sabotage by turning these little tasks into monsters. And no task is easier to do this with than our taxes. Basically, taxes are something that all of us have to participate in every year, but it's no one's favorite thing to think about. Although we do all love getting that refund check at the other end of it. And that can lead us to not filing until the very last minute, or possibly even waiting until they're past due and then getting dinged with penalties and fees. But the thing is, with the right tools, you can literally do your taxes from the comfort of your bed. With the right help, you can quickly and easily file them away and get the maximum refund you're entitled to. And let's be honest, feel so amazing about yourself once it's done. So in honor of this tax season, which we hope will be your most effective yet, we cannot recommend TurboTax enough. TurboTax is the leader in tax software, and they make it easy for you to get your taxes done and take home your biggest possible refund. Plus, now they offer TurboTax Live, where you can click to connect live with real CPAs using one-way video technology, so you can stay in your pajamas. 100% of their tax experts are certified public accountants, enrolled agents, or tax attorneys with an average of 15 years of tax preparation experience. And they offer next-level convenience because they're available nights and weekends on demand to give you personalized tax advice and answers to your specific tax questions as often as you need. TurboTax will help you get your maximum refund guaranteed. Check them out at the link in our description. Number 3 is to set up automatic savings. It simply cannot be said enough, and proof of that is that we say it all the time on TFD. Having your money automatically transferred out of your checking account toward your long and short-term savings goals will make you way more effective at actually reaching them. And it is not just us saying that, it's actually true. Several years ago, a study done in Denmark found that automatic savings plans were more effective than tax subsidies when it came to saving for retirement. The fact that you are not paying attention is what will actually make you save more, said John Friedman, an assistant professor of public policy at Harvard's John F. Kennedy School of Government and a co-author of the study. Challenging yourself to have a few specific savings goals and attached accounts that you are automatically feeding into each month and setting up that payment for even just a few dollars a month, if that's all you can afford at the time, is something that can have huge impacts on your long and short-term savings, and it's something you can do in literally the time it takes you to watch the sun come up. There are tons of different accounts that you can be automatically depositing into, and you can change the name of these accounts to coordinate with the goal that they're saving for so that they will feel even more exciting to watch grow. And once you've set up the account and the transfer, you've basically done all of the hard work. And if you want to know which savings accounts are right for you to set up or how to get the most out of them, check out our video last week all about the essential savings accounts that everyone should have. Number 4 is price compare for purchases you've been considering. The truth about online shopping is that it makes it simply way too easy to buy things that you don't really need, but also things that you don't often even really want that much either. Studies show that the chemical high of shopping often outweighs the actual satisfaction from impulse purchases, if the seldom wore duds hanging in your closet weren't proof enough. That 15 minutes of scrolling and looking for more competitive prices while lounging around in bed could mean the difference between buying something on a whim and deciding you maybe don't need it, or at least getting it at a better price. You may even find that after a little bit of effort, you don't even really want it anymore. But if and when you do buy online, always make sure to use plugins and extensions that ensure that you get access to all the best coupon codes and discounts at checkout. Honey is a great extension on Google Chrome, which I actually use myself, and it basically just ensures that every time you're going through checkout, you get all of those coupons and codes and discounts added to your purchase whenever possible. But taking that 15 minutes to price compare often means you won't even be heading to checkout at all. Number 5 is sign up for overdraft protection. So I am someone who used to be the queen of overdraft fees, and for some reason, no matter how many times I was getting dinged with those repeated overburdening withdrawals on my account, I never really thought it through and sought to get myself out of my own horrible spending, impulse buying way. And frankly, signing up for overdraft protection may feel in the moment like a bit of a hassle, and you may have to suffer the occasional embarrassment of having your debit card declined at the grocery store in front of the little old lady who is already pushing you out of the checkout. But it is infinitely better to not spend the money you can't afford to spend than to spend it and get hit with additional penalties later. And many overdraft protections come with built-in warnings that tell you when your account is getting low, so that you may actually be able to avoid that embarrassing card being declined moment altogether. NerdWallet found maximum one-day penalties to be above $200 at several banks. To avoid this pitfall, log onto your bank account and elect overdraft alerts. If your funds dip below a certain amount, you'll get a warning text, which is your cue to stop spending. The point is, this is one of those super easy to get out of the way things that you can do in a matter of minutes that can have huge long-term impacts because, quite frankly, those overdraft fees tend to spiral and compound on each other. Avoiding them altogether is the best way to be sure that you are not going to be paying ridiculous fees to buy a pack of gum when you didn't realize you forgot to transfer money into your checking account. And lastly, number 6 is make a meal plan-based grocery list. So I am someone who absolutely loves to meal plan in my downtime, and anyone who has ever worked with me or been my friend will probably laugh at this because I am constantly asking people what they think I should make for dinner and or what I should cook in big batches. And I actually just find this to be really enjoyable because I love food and I can't just literally be eating 24 hours a day, so I like to take up some of that time by thinking about what I'm going to be eating. It's very fun for me. But it is also well established that having a clear meal-based grocery list will save you a lot of money at the grocery store, particularly over time, because it allows you to avoid those impulse purchases, redundant items that you already have at home, or ingredients that you just never end up using. So first, you always want to go out of your way to utilize everything you have at home when you're meal planning. If you have a ton of noodles, for example, try a pasta dish. You can also start to regularly swap in high-protein vegetable options for dinner instead of always defaulting to meat and fish, both because it's much less expensive and also better for the environment. And you should also take into account when creating this grocery list your weekly schedule, meaning that if there are nights that you're going to be eating out or days at which lunch will be provided at work, you know to cross those days off the lists of times that you need to be preparing for. And of course, making sure that at least one of the meals you're making is something that you can make in a big batch and freeze is always crucial. Just one Saturday morning ritual of full conscious meal planning, because Saturdays are almost always better to do your grocery shopping than Sunday afternoons when there's often a huge rush before the week starts, will set you up for an awesome lazy meal prep Sunday and a week that is both more healthy, more intentional with the way you're eating, and almost certainly less expensive. Because let's be honest, going to the grocery store 5 times in 1 week because you never remember to buy the ingredients you're actually going to use is no one's idea of a good use of time or money. No matter how early a riser or late a sleeper you tend to be, there are always ways to make sure that we're using that time between when we wake up and when we actually start our day in a way that sets us up to get the most out of those days. And one of the most powerful ways to use that otherwise lazy time is to do something that you have been putting off, like your taxes. And the best, most trusted software to make sure you get your taxes done easily, quickly, and correctly, and to ensure you get the biggest possible refund is TurboTax. Check them out at the link in our description and get your taxes done with them today without ever having to change out of your pajamas. As always, guys, thank you for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to come back every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday for new and awesome videos. Bye!